So Upper Echelon's video incorrectly claims that MrBeast's video ran afoul of this law cited in the Stillman complaint.
He got him. He got him.
Fulfilling basically every single part of this law at one time or another.
YouTube lawyer drama base.
To the very letter.
Yeah, that's just wrong. The law does not apply to satellite radio, the internet, or cable.
That's just wrong, he says. Upper Echelon destroyed! All right. With that being said, let's take a look at this video. MrBeast, illegal rigging, lotteries, and NDAs. $1 lawyer versus $1 million lawyer. Half an hour video.
Trouble in Beastland? MrBeast is facing controversy on several different fronts, and all this comes at a terrible time, right when Amazon is investing potentially hundreds of millions of dollars into the Beast games, which is facing its own controversy. Now, a lot of this is outside of my field, but people are claiming that MrBeast broke the law, and that is my bat signal, or eagle signal. From Feastables to the Beast games, he can do it all. Or can he? An ex-employee is making waves by claiming that everything about MrBeast's empire is fake.
If what we did was scripted, holy shit, this stuff would be easy to pump out.
Have you ever faked a video?
No. But this train track is CGI, these bus wheels are CGI, this explosion is fake, this shredder is CGI, this car is digitally lifted, this pit is fake, this guy is fake, this raccoon is a paid actor.
And it doesn't stop there. There are claims that MrBeast's frequent giveaways are actually illegal lotteries, and that MrBeast contests run afoul of federal anti-rigging laws. And looking at the other side, the ex-employee may have signed a non-disclosure agreement, which he might be violating by producing his videos. Is he going to be in trouble too? Well, to understand all this, you have to understand who MrBeast is and what a MrBeast video is. Well, MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, is known for his elaborate and philanthropic videos. His videos often feature massive challenges, expensive stunts, and big giveaways. MrBeast has over 300 million subscribers, and he's expanded his empire to candy bars and to cheeseburgers, and will soon host a game show on Amazon Prime. And now an ex-employee claims that MrBeast fakes his videos and runs illegal lotteries.
Right. So I assume the illegal part here, from what he can say, from everything I understand, maybe I'm wrong, is that faking videos is not illegal. Maybe faking some of the challenge videos and the outcomes could be illegal. That could be with those specific videos. If they're like planting contestants who they then pick to win or something like that, that maybe could be illegal. I think Upper Echelon said that. But the really illegal thing would be illegal lotteries, right? That would be the really illegal thing. So what I'm trying to figure out here is if this guy's legal opinion is that he was running illegal lotteries.
The man, who goes by Dogpack404 on Twitter, alleged that MrBeast's company engaged in fake giveaways, rigged videos, ran illegal lotteries, and sold fake signatures. Though according to Chucky Appleby, who runs MrBeast's Ideas and Thumbnails team, the man worked for MrBeast for less than a month before he was fired for...
And I assume this is going to be the angle for MrBeast's response in some way. You know, he'll probably have to have some kind of substantive response, but I think a part of it also is going to be showing somehow that Dogpack404 is unhinged, that his firing was justified. Maybe they're going to say he's mentally ill or something. You know, obviously there was tweets about his drug use, right? People were claiming that and he denied it. But they're going to do their best to discredit his position and his ability to have an opinion. And that alone wouldn't be enough. They'd also have to substantively prove that what he was saying was false, I think. For Dogpack to look really retarded or bad or look like he's falsely accusing someone, right? I think that would have to be in there. So that's essentially the angle that he's going to go for, right? He's going to need to, first of all, he's going to try to discredit him based on who he is or how he is or his personal experience with him. And then he's also going to factor in, like, how can I substantively disprove what he's saying? I don't know if he's going to be able to do that at all, especially with the Delaware thing. That seems kind of like with Jake the Viking saying it, with you know, saying that Jimmy knew and describing that specific instance. I think that stuff's going to be tough for him to disprove. Very tough, actually. But for this, I'm very curious to see how we could maybe argue against it.
Erratic behavior. But the former worker started a YouTube channel and produced a video alleging that MrBeast runs illegal lotteries.
And obviously, I'm not a lawyer, so I'm just going to show you the law and then show you irrefutable evidence of what's being done, and you can make your own conclusions. The FTC defines a lottery as containing 3 elements.
And here he's mostly correct about the legal elements of a lottery. This varies state by state, but most jurisdictions define a lottery as having 3 elements. Consideration, which is payment to participate, a prize,
Right.
which must be something of value, and chance, which means that the winner is determined by luck.
Which is what we just talked about from that message from the lawyer. So that seems to be consistent with what another person said. And they said that before the LegalEagle video came out. So there's, you know, I don't know if that means it's true. I'm not an expert in law, but I generally trust what LegalEagle says, I think. I haven't seen anything pointing out that he's like grossly inaccurate with stuff like this, you know. Please make a candle called Smells Like Goon Sludge. You never know. I am talking to GamerSups right now. They sent me a bunch of stuff. I think a candle is unlikely, but you never know. Maybe a flavor in the future is possible, you know? So look out for that. and please buy gamer subs when I promote it.
Well, 3 of these elements are present and the lottery is not regulated, it is likely illegal, because lotteries in the United States are exclusively run by the government. Now,
He posts about Project 2025, dog. What does that even mean? Why is someone's... I hate the way that this shit works. I don't care that LegalEagle is like a libtard. He could still be right about the law, right? Like I don't care what his politics are. That's not really bothering me. If his politics have some way on how he interprets the law, he's politically biased, that's interesting. If I could see that, that's good. I don't care that he talks about Project 2025 or that he doesn't like Donald Trump. I don't give a shit.
Now, this is in contrast to what I'll generally call a contest, which is not based on chance so much as skill or intellect. And that's why it's generally legal to have a prize for a contest, even when there's an entry fee, because it's not based on chance and therefore does not constitute a lottery. Lotteries are distinct from sweepstakes and raffles, which are legal. Sweepstakes are games where a person is chosen randomly to win a prize, and sweepstakes participants do not give consideration to enter. Now, we'll talk more about this in a second, but the reason a sweepstakes is generally allowable in the context of buying something to enter is that there is an option to enter the same sweepstakes without a purchase necessary. And
Right, so basically here, if MrBeast was saying you can buy a shirt to enter, or you don't have to buy a shirt to enter, you can also just, put your emoji in chat, then that would be a sweepstakes versus a lottery, which wouldn't be illegal, basically, right? If there was fair odds for everyone regardless of purchase, with no purchase actually being necessary.
raffle is an activity in which people buy tickets with different numbers.
But what I am curious about is, would it be illegal or get MrBeast into legal trouble if buying a shirt increase your chances of winning versus, like, let's say buying a shirt gets you 5 entries, but not buying a shirt gets you 1 entry? Could that get him into legal trouble? I assume that would be kind of sketchy, right?
Some of which are later chosen to win prizes that's organized in order to make money for a good social purpose. And raffles are generally only legal when they're conducted by non-profits. So let's go back to the video that people are claiming is an illegal lottery. During a 2020 live stream, the MrBeast crew sold limited edition t-shirts that cost $42. The sign in the background says buy a shirt and I'll sign it.
For those of you who are just joining, if you buy one of our limited edition 40 mil special shirts, we're celebrating 40 million subscribers with a really big video, then we will sign that shirt. And
Right, and this is the consideration.
some of them will get random prizes like this.
Someone will get random prizes. So the purchase of the shirt enters you into the lottery, basically, right?
Parameters of the offer were that a fan buys an autographed t-shirt and they get the possibility of winning a prize. The winners were supposed to be chosen randomly at different intervals, but MrBeast changed the rules of the giveaway midstream.
They would say something like, buy in the next 5 minutes for a chance to win. And then 7 minutes later go, actually, the newest order in 30 seconds.
Which is extremely scummy because he's basically changing the rules. So if you did enter, like, let's say it's not an illegal lottery, right? Let's say it's not. At the very least, it is a sketchy lottery because you're entering with the impression that you're going to be, fairly evaluated. And then the time frame changes, right? The time frame instantly changes, which is very scummy. You can't just change that on a whim.
Is going to win.
Dogpack says that during the 6-hour live stream, MrBeast offered 46 illegal lotteries with a retail value of over $47,000. Now, typically when you review the terms and conditions of giveaway like this one, the first disclaimer you'll see is the statement, no purchase necessary. That's how you get around the lottery rules. You offer people a way to participate in the sweepstakes without having to purchase anything. Now, MrBeast's 6-hour live streams look a little sloppy. They're not like the MrBeast videos of today. The full video isn't available anymore, so we don't know whether there was a disclaimer in the video or in the description, but it does look like a purchase was required and there was no free way to enter. So in some jurisdictions, MrBeast probably would have been running an illegal lottery. And if true, he probably wouldn't be alone. This was frankly pretty common on YouTube back in the day.
Wait.
And if true, he probably wouldn't be alone. This was frankly pretty common.
Did Filthy Frank run an illegal lottery? Is that what he's, or is he just saying all YouTube was crazy? What is he saying here? Also, Filthy Frank is based. Do not shit on Filthy Frank, okay? Joji, Filthy Frank is the GOAT. Any disrespect will not be tolerated, LegalEagle, okay? You're treading on thin ice here, buddy. I'm about to disregard your entire legal opinion based on the fact you don't like Filthy Frank, okay? You're only a cool person / impartial / based if you like the YouTuber that I like, okay?
Common on YouTube back in the day. And it's also common for YouTubers to get legal advice later after they become more successful. Remember, kids, talk to your lawyer early and often. We can often save you a...
Yeah, it's very possible that, in fact, I think it's very likely that he didn't consult anyone before that, lottery took place, before the giveaway, whatever you want to call it, took place. Because if he had, then this controversy wouldn't have even happened, right? Unless somehow Dogpack and LegalEagle and this lawyer I talked to and Upper Echelon are all full of shit somehow, which I think is very unlikely, that they all came to the same conclusion independently. independently. It's possible, you know, not the first time it would have happened if it did happen, but, you know, I looked up the same FTC page that Dogpack talked about, and it seems like he was completely accurate, you know? So it's my opinion that MrBeast did conduct an illegal lottery at this point in time. Hey, Tom, have you noticed the similarities between David Dobrik and Jimmy? David's sketchy friend, Dirty Dom, and the pressure to perform for the camera or risk of being shunned by the group. I don't know everything about the David Dobrik situation, so it's hard for me to weigh in on that.
A ton of headache in the future. But not offering a free method of participation is a pitfall that I've seen a lot of YouTubers do when it comes to giveaways or bonuses. It's so common, in fact, that a very large YouTuber, Captain Sparkles, even admitted to doing the same thing while he was talking about this MrBeast situation.
I will admit to something here that may be past the statute of limitations, but the way that I found out about illegal lotteries to begin with is because I accidentally did one.
Wait, really? I saw that video I recommended, and I assumed it was just him talking about the allegation. I didn't think he was admitting to anything. What?
About illegal lotteries to begin with is because I accidentally did one a long time ago. And you might be like, wait, what the heck? There's no way that this counts as an illegal lottery, but technically it does. Back in probably 2012 or so, I did a charity live stream. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if the people who donate to the charity I'm raising money for could be eligible to win a prize in a giveaway? You can't actually do that. That is an illegal lottery, even if it is for charity. Even if it's someone who has given money to charity, you don't touch any of that. It's going to a good cause. You cannot pick someone out of the people who have contributed money to that charity to be eligible to win a prize. Everyone still has to be eligible with a no purchase necessary to win that prize.
Wow. Base Captain Sparkles. Bro turned on the camera to admit to a federal crime on video recording. That's awesome. What? That's crazy. What the hell? What? That's so funny. Wow. Goddamn.
You know, if it were me, even if it were super common, I would not admit to breaking the law on camera. But, you know, you do you. That's more work for lawyers in the future. And a lot of private companies have gotten in trouble for doing the same kind of giveaway. The Department of Justice concluded that the Ironman triathlon...
Tom, lots of YouTubers did that same shit. CSGO scamming was rampant. Yeah, I do remember back in the day, I don't know if it was scamming, but it was like the T. Martin Pro Syndicate controversy. And that was after the fact, I believe T. Martin ended up doing a video where he was like, he had his dog there. He was like, guys, this is so crazy. And basically what happened was he was claiming to have found this website. I think it was CSGO Lotto. He was claiming to have just randomly found this website that nobody had ever heard of. He's like, I love using this site, and put the link there. And then it turns out that he was lying and he had like been partially creating the site behind the scenes, which is really funny.
The Triathlon organization conducted an illegal lottery by charging athletes $50 for a chance to compete in its world championship. So the World Triathlon Corp, which runs Ironman, also encouraged people to pay an additional $50 to purchase memberships in a club that would increase their chances of getting into the championship race. They didn't offer a refund to people whose entries weren't chosen and gave them no future credit towards registration for those that were chosen. And the company ran this promotion for decades, between 1983 and 2015. But as a result, the company agreed to forfeit the $2.76 million that they had collected and cease the lottery practice.
Oh, shit. So this is the precedent. This is what happened here. So if MrBeast were to forfeit the money he got from that, would he be legally fine if he were to do refunds or something?
Though he denied any wrongdoing. Now, there is one more interesting wrinkle when it comes to MrBeast potentially engaging in illegal lottery. Now, we talked about the different elements of a lottery. You have to have the element of chance, there has to be a prize, but also the people looking to participate in the lottery have to offer consideration. Now, consideration for the purposes of lotteries is often construed narrowly. It does not need to include money. If a person has to make an effort to register.
So what this reads here, by the way, so I can just move myself here for a sec so we can read this little blurb. Consideration for the purpose of a lottery is payment, purchase of a product or service, or extensive effort needed to participate in the promotion. So we kind of went over that. Basically what he's saying there is consideration is just, if you're paying to enter the lottery, right? And if it's unregulated, it's illegal. You're paying to enter a lottery. That's what it is. It's not just a giveaway.
This can constitute consideration under the law. So for example, if you pay $42 for a t-shirt in exchange for the chance to win a prize, you've definitely provided consideration. And likewise, if you have to complete a long survey or make several trips to the store, many regulatory authorities also say that you've made a...
And the trips to the store, as far as what regulatory authorities would say, would also be constituted in the Feastables thing, from what I understand, where you had to purchase a Feastables bar to enter this lottery, which would then potentially win you a prize, right? And that's the thing that was being pushed on kids.
Significant effort to get into a lottery. But not everything qualifies as consideration. If you mail a postcard to enter into a contest, the 50-cent postage does not count as consideration in most jurisdictions. So
why not? because it's so low? Is there some kind of line being drawn here for what is consideration based on the dollar amount? Or is it just because it's a postcard, it's not a big deal?
Another one of MrBeast's giveaways, he purchased 1,000 Samsung phones and gave them away randomly to people who subscribed to his channel. Now, whether this is an illegal lottery or a legal sweepstakes depends on whether the state law construes subscribing to the channel as consideration.
I would guess subscribing to the channel is not going to be considered consideration because it's such a low effort thing, right? You're just pressing one button. You're not paying any money for it. There's no inherent time investment. You just subscribe, right? What I am curious about is how would MrBeast even figure out from a random chance who would win based on who subscribed, right? Maybe he had email notifications on, but you can't just contact someone on YouTube that easily. There's no messaging system. So how did he even figure out who to give that away to? Just because people said I'm subscribed?
Now, in North Carolina, where MrBeast is based, if the promotion includes a purchase, payment, or substantial effort, and it's a game of chance resulting in a prize, then it's likely an illegal lottery. If it's non-monetary consideration, the person would have to make a, quote, substantial degree of effort for it to be considered consideration. In the past, substantial effort examples include attending an all-day sales presentation or going to a scavenger hunt. But simply watching a TV program or visiting a location one time was not considered substantial effort in North Carolina. So I could definitely see a North Carolina court saying that simply pressing the subscribe button does not qualify as a substantial effort necessary to make it consideration. Now, what makes this situation even more complicated is that sometimes MrBeast videos contain both a contest and a sweepstakes. So take, for example, the video 100 Boys versus 100 Girls for $500,000. Here are the rules.
I built 2 massive circles and put 100 boys in one and 100 girls in the other. And whichever circle has more people after 100 hours wins.
I like that LegalEagle went deeper and covered stuff that he covered a lot of old videos, and he covered stuff that even Dogpack didn't even talk about. I appreciate that he went over all of these.
$500,000.
So if any player steps on the red line, they're eliminated from the game. And during the 100 hours, MrBeast tempted the players with various offers, like giving one of the guys $10,000 for solving a Rubik's Cube.
We're gonna offer the one guy in there that knows how to solve them $10,000.
So could that be considered a lottery? Because the consideration is you have to be in the video to be there, but they're also getting paid to be there, I assume. But it's certainly, I think it would be weighed as consideration / like entry, whatever payment more than a stamp, because a stamp is 50 cents. Being in this video is like you have to travel there, you have to be there, you have to, be involved in the video, participate in the challenge. So could that be called a lottery?
And I'll just leave right now.
He also offered the girls a free car if they agreed to leave.
If Chris crashes it, it's coming with it.
MrBeast, according to the farms, hired a on the registry and made multiple appearances in the videos. They also claim MrBeast tried to get the data expunged. Yeah, we went over that. That's what Jake the Viking said, basically, right?
Have to get out, but whenever you do, your brand new car's right there.
Now, that video was sponsored by a company called Current, and that company offered a separate sweepstakes. Now, it looks like by the time of this video, which comes 2 years later, MrBeast either lawyered up or learned his lesson, because it seems like he knew what he was doing in this particular video, because this video allows participation in the sweepstakes without purchase. The description reads, no purchase or payment necessary to enter or win. Void outside the US and where prohibited, etc., more legalese. So the contestants, the viewers, did not have to join Current, the video sponsor, to enter into that particular sweepstakes. It links to other terms and conditions, and people had an opportunity to review the official rules to determine how the prize would be allocated. So it looks like sometime in the last 4 years, MrBeast got his act together and started complying with anti-lottery rules. Now, obviously, if you're running an illegal lottery, you'll want a good lawyer. But if you want a great lawyer, my law firm, the Eagle team, can help. If you've suffered a data breach, especially if you got a letter saying that your social security number had been leaked.
All right, thanks, dickhead. Can we share toe fungus pics? Absolutely not.
The old video of MrBeast offering a prize for buying a t-shirt, which arguably does constitute a lottery, with all MrBeast videos that happen to involve prizes.
It doesn't seem that arguable to me. It seems relatively dead to rights. I mean, I guess for legal purposes he has to say that, but it seems relatively dead to rights there.
In general. But these are very different situations.
The question also, though, is if the government would even crack down on this. I assume someone has filed some kind of FTC complaint. I know Dogpack said he didn't want to elaborate on if he did file some kind of government complaint, but I assume maybe he did. So very curious.
And the analysis is different too. MrBeast is known for giving subscribers a chance to take part in his videos. And Dogpack takes issue with this, arguing that, quote,
so yeah, the random subscribers you see in challenges are actually never random. They're almost always local to MrBeast and oftentimes friends and family of MrBeast employees or just the employees themselves.
And he highlighted some specific videos he says backs up his claims, specifically the video Boys vs. Girls for $500,000. He says the whole thing was rigged because the contestants weren't random subscribers.
Let's look at this video. Not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers.
So many people had jobs.
Oh, that contestant had to get out for her job? I guess you forgot she's your hiring manager. I actually recognize it.
Oh, I remember this.
A lot of people
that
in
was
this
funny.
video, including Jimmy's own girlfriend.
Chucky Appleby acknowledged
To be clear, Jimmy's girlfriend, I believe she made a statement, actually. Oh, it's his ex-girlfriend, not girlfriend right now, ex-girlfriend. I don't think this is the same girl. Let's rewind a little bit.
Acknowledge that some
Let's see who this girl is.
I actually recognize a lot of people in this video, including Jimmy's own.
So that girl, I can never tell with girls, especially with makeup and shit. Is this the same girl? Maddie Spadell. Maddie Spadell. It looks like this is a different girl than the current girl. Let's see what she said. I spent years being quiet, never acknowledging that time in my life, just quietly cheering on those who I saw mistreated. I don't want drama. I don't want anything. I just want to speak up for my 19-year-old self. 19 to 21 are formative years as a young woman. It impacted the way I saw myself, the way I interpreted my future, and how I trusted men. There was no user manual. There was no instructions on how to deal with gaining a following quickly. No cheat sheet on dating someone famous. I did the best I could, but I was not okay. Months of therapy, so many journal entries, long talks with my mom. Why do I feel like it was all for nothing? What the you saying? So you're just making this statement about how you feel? I hate women. I believe I should be used as a cautionary tale. If something's too good to be true, it probably is. How he treats other women will ultimately be how he treats you. You're smart, beautiful, and capable of a career, life, and relationship you're proud of. I'm not able to take anyone down. Just simply and explicitly tell you that there are scary people out there, people who will hurt you, use you, spit you out, and then tell you it's your fault. It's all of our jobs to protect our friends, our moms, our wives, our sisters. Okay, so nothing even happened to you. Just shut the f up. What are you even saying? She's not even saying anything. You're not even saying anything here. Why even make this whole lot of nothing statement? Jesus.
Girlfriend.
Chucky Appleby acknowledged that some of the players were friends or employees. Quote, the employees in the video were there to fill in for people who tested positive for COVID last minute right before filming. Thea, Jimmy's girlfriend, mentioned this on a podcast over a year ago. If it wasn't for COVID, they would not have been in it. They had the same money on the line as everyone else. And Dogpack also said that he received text messages from another Beast worker who said they had to rig the game so that the boys didn't win by so much.
According to a former MrBeast employee, it would have been a PR problem if the boys had won by a lot. And because so many of the female contestants were MrBeast employees who got out immediately, production stepped in to actually make the results of the challenge closer.
Now, there's absolutely
more evidence that women are incapable of everything.
Nothing illegal about using friends or acquaintances in your videos. And it doesn't necessarily follow that just because MrBeast might have known some of the people who appeared in his videos, that he rigged the videos in their favor. Now, your mileage may vary as to whether it's a good or bad look to include friends in videos where there's money on the line. Now, arguably, you might conclude that if the video makes it appear that every contestant is random, and it turns out that that's not the case, then it makes it more likely that the outcome is rigged in their favor. MrBeast, after all, might want to patronize his friends.
Yes, he might want to, but ultimately, I think part of the thing is we're going to need proof of that. You know, Dogpack's video had some circumstantial stuff, like especially the Feastable sweepstake where some YouTuber somehow randomly won the challenge and won all the money, right? That's definitely very interesting, but I think we'd have to have a lot more behind the scenes information to know how much he was rigging it, or how much he knew, or how much other people knew, you know?
But you might also conclude that there is no connection between the identity of the contestants and the outcome. Now, I haven't reviewed every single MrBeast video. I have a life. Personally, I think this is probably closer to the truth, but I can see how people might feel deceived. And as it happens, I happen to know several people who have appeared in MrBeast videos. Again, because he needed someone to fill in at the last second, and they happen to be nearby. In fact, you might know them, Dave the Agent and Patrick Willems. And I can tell you, the video was not rigged in their favor at all. They happened to be taking a tour of MrBeast facilities and got pegged to fill in at the last moment.
Right. That's interesting. But I mean, just because it wasn't rigged in their favor doesn't mean it wasn't rigged in someone else's favor, but it is interesting to get their testimony here.
To put an entire GameStop inside of a triangle. They actually succeeded, and they've told me that everyone was shocked that they were able to do it.
Everyone's got to let go at the same time. 3, 2.
The comments on the video are crazy, are they? Got you, Tom Dark. Thanks, bro. Are they crazy? What's crazy about the comments?
I think this is
I don't even see any negative comments. Horrible take as a lawyer at Quinn's Emanuel Liechtenstein office and having practiced for all of 7 seconds. It's clear you don't understand any part of the... Okay, so this is like a troll. That guy did get me, though. Wait, was that the same guy in chat who said that? Oh, Shriek, you got me, you baited me. Oh my god, I hate you. I didn't even pick up on that. What's crazy about the comments? You're checking new? Yeah, that's what he told me to do, Smaggle Daggle. Smaggle, I'm gonna ban you in chat. You're over.
Probably closer to the truth, but I can see how people might feel deceived. And as it happens, I happen to know several people who have appeared in MrBeast videos. Again, because he needed someone to fill in at the last... You know that logistically, since many of MrBeast videos are filmed in his hometown of Greenville, North Carolina, it's often hard to fill all of the spots for his videos. And I also know that MrBeast and his team invest in hundreds or thousands of cameras, producers, and video editors to be able to record and cull through thousands of hours of footage for his videos. And my feeling is that MrBeast will do whatever is possible to make the most engaging and entertaining video possible. But I certainly can't speak to every video he's ever made, nor can I speak to the audience expectations of the videos that he does make. But let's say that the videos were rigged, completely manipulated, and predetermined. Would that be illegal? Dogpack alleges that MrBeast rigged the game so that the boys didn't win by so much. MrBeast changed the rules or offered different challenges throughout the 100 hours. At one point, he says he wanted to make the game more competitive by trying to introduce more boys to drop out. out. And in one sense, duh, this is a MrBeast video. He makes various offers and changes the rules to make things more entertaining.
Right, but is that against the law?
He manipulates the events to add drama, much like any game show where things occur to make things interesting. But here, let's make a distinction.
There
are the rules as laid out to the contestants before they participate, and the rules as laid out in the video. Now, you can imagine that the contract between the contestant and, I don't know, Beast Enterprises lays out certain terms.
And in the terms it may be laid out that the rules are subject to change at any point in time, I assume.
For the relationship. Now, I've never seen one of those contracts. My guess is that it gives Beast Enterprises quite a lot of flexibility to deal with the contestant.
Right.
But if they breach those terms,
genius.
then they might be liable for breach of contract or maybe even fraud. And then there are the terms that show up in the final video.
Really? Okay, so if it's so what he's saying is if it's included in the original form that he could change the rules and he gives himself enough wiggle room, he could be fine. But it's fraud if stuff labeled in the contract isn't outlined. If stuff that's in the contract is not sufficient for what happens in the video. So if the contract says this will happen and then the video, the stuff that happens completely contradicts it, it could be bad. Ban me, daddy, as you wish, Pumpernickel. Goodbye.
After the filming. Those might not be the same. Now, whether you're allowed to change the rules in the video largely depends on how much freedom you have in the rules in your contract with the contestant. Now, remember this.
Yeah, I saw it. We went over Jimmy's girl statement. Man, the most annoying thing in these allegations is people who will put out absolute nothing statements with no corroboration, nothing specific. They'll just be like, I just need to be heard, and they won't even say anything. It's like, well, then shut the f up. If you're not going to say anything, then just shut up. I don't care that you want to be heard, okay? Did you get... No, then I don't care. Stop talking. I don't like you're just trying to get I also am involved in some way. Are you going to say anything specific about it? No. Like shut up. Get off my dick.
Because we'll come back to it in a second. Now, following up on the allegations from Dogpack, YouTuber Upper Echelon claimed that MrBeast videos are just flat out illegal. For example, Rosanna Pansino was featured in a MrBeast competition series called Creator Games, which
I don't like that woman.
pits YouTube personalities against each other in games like hide and seek. She claimed that MrBeast selectively edited the video to make it appear that she...
I remember when this happened, I think I went over this drama and I just did not give a shit. Tom Dark, Rosanna Pansino. Man, a lot of people are making videos about this now. Wait, she's made so many. Wait.
Hey guys.
Holy shit. She's not even a commentary YouTuber. MrBeast. There's so many videos talking about her. Rosanna Pansino exposes MrBeast even more. Beast Games keeps getting worse. Maybe she's right. I don't know. But the shit she was mad about before was so stupid. She's like, I didn't get in the video enough. I don't really care. Did he hurt you? Then I would care.
She did not finish in the top 3, and instead they made it look like Logan.
She's also the same person that was like adding YouTube. The reason I don't trust her, and I think she's disingenuous, is she has such a grudge against MrBeast. She wants anything to like bring about the downfall of him. She'd be happy if his channel got deleted, right? Even if none of this shit was true, she would have been happy if his channel got deleted. She made a tweet that was like, MrBeast 10 years ago said the N-word on YouTube. Hey, at Team YouTube, are you going to do anything about this? It's like, shut up. Focus on shit that actually matters, bro. This is the most annoying thing when these situations go down. Like, there's like real evidence being talked about, and then these other people fuck it up and like discredit real victims by being like, he did that. He said the F slur. Who cares? Tom has a dead voice. MrBeast has dead eyes. I'm related to him, but you wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't know that, would you, buddy? It's the most frustrating thing when these allegations happen, right? The most frustrating thing is like people who knowingly or unknowingly get in the way of the truth because of their own personal biases, right? Like obviously Rosanna Pansino, you can argue whether her original gripe with MrBeast was justified or not. And I think it's okay for her to talk about, how she feels about it. But at the same time, some of the stuff she's pushing and some of the allegations she's made and like focused on have like undoubtedly taken a giant hit to the overall validity of the allegations. Like her focusing on him saying the F slur 10 years ago, like, is that everybody did it on YouTube? Nobody gave a shit. Like, why even bring that in, Why even make that a part of it? And it's the same thing that people do with, like, allegations, They'll be like, he me. It's like, oh, that's horrible. He said the N-word. It's like, bruh. I feel like there's one thing to focus on here that matters, and I hate when people muddy this shit. Tom, I thought she was diarrhea maxing, so she was only poop maxing. Based. Diarrhea enjoyer. We do love that. We do love that very much. We do enjoy that. We do enjoy that. We do enjoy some diarrhea now and then. Yes, we do, chat. All right.
Paul did finish in the top 3.
Survivor, despite being mentioned by this alleged former employee in passing, has a particularly relevant lawsuit brought forward by a contestant of season 1, where she alleges that producers of the show engaged in a scheme to prearrange outcomes by persuading, influencing, or intimidating contestants.
And she claimed that MrBeast changed the rules. Originally, they were told they couldn't hide in the ceiling, but the winner was allowed to hide in the ceiling. Now, Upper Echelon claims that MrBeast did exactly the same thing that landed the TV show Survivor in legal hot water.
47 USC 509, which pertains to, quote, prohibited practices in contests of knowledge, skill, or chance.
Now, whether you think it's a good idea to use clever editing or manipulating the rules to change the outcome is not the same thing as necessarily being against the law. But Upper Echelon points to a lawsuit by Season 1 Survivor contestant Stacy Stillman, who was the third person ever voted off the series.
What was the result of that lawsuit? Original Survivor claims show was rigged. Lawsuit outcome. All right, we've got a article here from Medium. I don't know how accurate this is, but we'll read it through, see what they say. In the early days of Survivor, the show needed to sort of feel its way into development. The things were done differently than they are now and had a lot of rules that haven't been put into place yet. Among other things, production had a lot more influence into the game than it should have probably had. All that was mostly kept in the dark, and we should have never been the wiser had it not been for Stacy Stillman. So this is her. Stacy was part of the Taggy tribe and tried forming the show's first ever alliance. Richard Hatch gets credit for this because his plan was successful and Stacy's was not. Her problem was that she was not very well liked by her tribe for her bitchy demeanor, and that is definitely how her edit portrayed her. When Taggy lost their second immunity challenge, Stacy ended up being the third person voted out of Borneo after it came down to her and Rudy Bosch. Back in those days, Ponderosa did not exist. After Stacy was voted out, she was sent out to a local hotel to be kept around for a bit before being released out into the wild. At that hotel, she'd end up running into Dirk Bean, a fellow Taggy tribe member who would end up being voted out fifth. During their talk, Stacy found out that allegedly Dirk and Sean Kenneth, another member of Taggy, had been approached by the show's producer, Mark Burnett, in an attempt to vote out Stacy over Rudy. Oh, so what she was told is that the production was getting involved in trying to manipulate the results of the show to make it more entertaining. Some total Drama Island shit. Can you wish my friend Lucian happy birthday? Happy birthday, Lucian. As a lawyer, this discovery did not sit well with Stacy. She knew that there were game show laws in place specifically so that producers could not manipulate results of a program. She felt that Burnett discussing who should be voted out next with contestants was in direct violation of those rules. In February of 2001, after considering these facts, Stacy decided to sue CBS for alleged fraud, breach of contract, and unlawful business practice. So we've got her case. How did it turn out? It should be noted that Dirk denied the use of words like manipulating and strong-arming. He also maintains that ultimately Dirk made the decision to vote out Stacy by his own volition, even if he regrets it. That's about as far as the case went. CBS and Stacy ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. That doesn't mean CBS was guilty of the accusations Stacy was making, nor does it mean they weren't. We will never know the full truth of the agreement because Stacy's likely bound to a very tight NDA to speak on whatever happened, and it's likely for a long period of time. Okay, so basically Upper Echelon is citing that might not be completely accurate because we don't know what the outcome of the case was, and it wasn't legally determined whether or not CBS was in the wrong, basically. It was settled at a court, right? A settlement doesn't necessarily imply legal wrongdoing.
Well, the weather has spoken, and the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
However, she later alleged that the show creator, Mark Burnett, actually orchestrated her demise. She claims that Burnett intervened in the game by convincing two of her teammates to vote her off the island rather than a contestant who had been a fan favorite, Rudy Bosch. Bosch was a gruff former Navy SEAL who was quick with one-liners.
The only reason I'd bring a Bible is I'm religious too, if I needed toilet paper.
Burnett allegedly believed that Rudy was better for ratings than Stillman, and Bosch later placed third in the game. Stillman is a lawyer, so she sued for fraud, breach of contract, and unlawful business practices in violation of California Business and Professions Code 17200, with the predicate being 47 USC 509. Now, the parties settled before trial, as most lawsuits do. But the interesting thing about Stillman's complaint is that she claimed that Burnett violated 47 USC 509, which is a federal law that regulates contests that are run by TV and radio broadcasters and their sponsors. It says it shall be unlawful for any person with intent to deceive the listening or viewing public to supply any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill, any special and secret assistance whereby the outcome of such contest will be in whole or...
Right. And the producer telling that guy what he should do in terms of voting in a certain way and having special knowledge about the behind-the-scenes stuff of the operation would be violating that law under what this says.
Or in part prearranged or predetermined, by means of persuasion, bribery, intimidation, or otherwise, to induce or cause any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill to refrain in any manner from using or displaying his knowledge or skill in such contest whereby the outcome thereof will be in whole or in part predetermined or prearranged. Or 3, to engage in any artifice or scheme for the purpose of prearranging or predetermining in whole or in part the outcome of a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge, intellectual skill, or chance. This is the basis for the FCC's contest rule, rule, which provides that it's illegal to predetermine or prearrange the outcome of a contest or to broadcast a predetermined or prearranged contest. It stems from a series of quiz shows in the 1950s that were absolutely rigged. And in fact, there's a great Ray Fiennes movie about this particular situation. The FCC requires broadcasters to disclose rules and policies applicable to their contests, including the method of entry, eligibility restrictions, entry deadlines, prize restrictions, winner selection procedures, and the value of the prize. And after analyzing this statute, Upper Echelon points to a situation in the Boys vs. Girls video that he claims runs afoul. In particular, he points to a situation where MrBeast tried to coax one of the boys who knew how to solve a Rubik's Cube from leaving the contest to make it more fair to the other contestants who did not know how to solve a Rubik's Cube in the Rubik's Cube's challenge.
I can't personally say at what specific point in time a creator who owns a media company that is 10 or 20 times larger and more successful than mainstream broadcast television networks becomes liable under those same rules. So
yeah, seems like manipulation, maybe in the service of predetermining.
That is true, because a lot of this YouTube stuff is very new. It's very new. So the question is, would the same laws that apply to TV apply to YouTube? I assume they would. I assume the FTC would want to enforce that equally. But another part of the question, once again, is how much did MrBeast know what he was getting himself into, or like know that, you know, being involved would affect his legal standing in the situation? Now, I think he should have known, to be clear. I don't think that absolves him of responsibility. But the question is, was it intentional? Did he have someone telling him not to do that beforehand? Did it anyway? This is just stuff I'm curious about. Legally, I don't think it really will matter, intent, as far as this goes, because if he did it, he did it. But I am very curious what he knew behind the scenes. Once again, I'm so curious the inner workings of the MrBeast company. I don't know if we're going to get that, but you can't claim ignorance as defenses. I agree. Ignorance of the law is not a defense for breaking it, but I'm just curious. You know, I just want to know. I want to know it all.
The outcome. But the FCC does not regulate radio or television that is not broadcast over the airwaves. Its website even says the FCC does not regulate online content.
Oh, so I was wrong. They don't even regulate online content.
The reason for this
who does?
Is the First Amendment. You're generally allowed to produce whatever kind of TV show you want or YouTube video that you want. It was thought, and still is, that when it came to shows that were broadcast over the air before cable TV or largely the internet, because that was a limited resource, the argument went, the government had more say over what could...
What would be your guess? As far as Beast's intention, my guess is that he didn't even think about it and was just pushing forward and never considered the legal ramifications that could come of it. That's my guess, and it's my guess with the sweepstakes / illegal lottery thing too. That's my guess would be that he didn't even think about it and is biting him in the ass now. That's my guess, because I think if he knew he would be breaking the law, even if he thought he wouldn't be prosecuted at that moment, he probably wouldn't want to go forward with it, because it's just a liability. Like, once again, it's such a huge brand, you know, to risk that would be really crazy. But, you know, according to Jake the Viking, he knew about this sex offender and didn't care. So you never know, I guess.
It'd be broadcast. That's why there's always been so much more cursing and nudity on HBO and not NBC. HBO has never been regulated by the FCC. It might be hard to believe, but there was a time when there were only a handful, like 3 TV stations, and you needed an antenna to be able to receive them. Luckily, we have evolved from this barbarity. So Upper Echelon's video incorrectly claims that MrBeast's video ran afoul of this law, cited in the Stillman complaint.
He got him.
7 USC 509, prohibited practices in contests of knowledge, skill, or chance.
Which deceived the audience, fulfilling basically every single part of this law at one time or another.
YouTube lawyer drama based.
To the very letter.
Yeah, that's just wrong. The law does not apply to satellite radio, the internet,
or
cable.
That's just wrong, he says. Upper Echelon destroyed!
No, I don't mean to cast aspersions on this YouTuber. He's upfront about the fact that he's not a lawyer. This is what often makes the law so difficult. You can find something that looks like it applies, but it's wildly out of context and is basically irrelevant. That's why people need lawyers. Now, ironically, a commenter to this video who claims to be a lawyer chimed in to proclaim that, quote, those laws do in fact apply to YouTube as well. I've actually dealt with it personally, and it doesn't end well for the accused. This person later says that they've been a lawyer for...
What precedents is he talking about? What's the case law here?
For all of 7 months, and quote, I've already seen so...
I like that LegalEagle, with this many subscribers, is shitting on this one commenter. He's one-guying him. That's based. People need to shit on YouTube comment retards more. So based.
Many cases, and it's sick. Now, I saw this, and it took a second. Was I wrong? Did I learn nothing in law school? That really doesn't seem accurate in the context of the US. then I kept reading the comments from this lawyer. It's universal. All the ground need to follow is that
he said Canada. Well, this is not in Canada.
Broadcast live. There are exceptions, but this is pretty clear. At least that's how it stands in Canada.
Base. Dude used the editing technique that fucking Illuminati claimed that he was ripping her off with to show this commenter is a Canadian fool. Base.
Oh, okay. This is why you don't trust randos on the internet, especially
this is why you trust LegalEagle and me
when they claim to be lawyers. Absolutely nothing this person says is true. Maybe that's the law in Canada, but not here. This law does not apply to YouTubers because they stream over the internet. It just doesn't apply. And in any event, the Stillman lawsuit settled, so we don't even know how a jury would have found.
Well, they stream over the internet. It doesn't apply yet. I'm curious if the FCC will eventually update that. I wonder if they'll like come around, because realistically, YouTubers get so many more views than, you know, mainstream television at this point. I feel like the laws have to be updated to reflect that, right? There has to be some level of federal regulation on stuff like that.
And it appears that the FCC never even investigated Survivor for the 509 violation based on her claims. And I don't want to belabor the point, but arguably the terms of the law might not even apply. It's not clear that the manipulating the activities of a contest would necessarily count as predetermining the outcome. And it's not clear that the various contests or games of skill or intellect that would be covered anyway. And often there's nothing secretive about what MrBeast is doing in the video contest. He says what he's going to do and then he does it. As you probably know, game shows often change the stakes all the time, even on broadcast television. Now, whether any of the contestants have a claim for breach of contract or fraud depends on what was in their contract before they agreed to appear in a MrBeast video. Now, I don't know the terms, so I can't say, but I'd be shocked if they didn't give MrBeast and Beast Enterprises a huge amount of freedom in what they can do or not do during the video. And furthermore, that would be a civil claim of the contestant versus Beast Enterprises. It's not a law that is broken. Maybe it's pedantic, but it's not illegal to breach a contract anyway. Now, ironically, it might be Dogpack 404 who's in hot legal water. MrBeast's lawyers have...
Right. I remember this because they were like, you broke your NDA, which I think he technically did because he did release confidential company info. But the question is it company info that he had when he was working there, or was it stuff other people sent him, therefore they breached the NDA? Is him publishing it breaching the NDA? Can he justify breaching the NDA in a court of law? Like, there's a lot of questions there for me. The most important thing for me about that shit is, like, I feel like it's ridiculous to even send a cease and desist, because most of the stuff he talked about wasn't private knowledge. It was all public stuff, at least from the first video. Second video, obviously that is private knowledge, but, you know, I think if everything he said is true, it's private knowledge that should be exposed and brought to the public. But I'm very curious what kind of legally enforceable stuff to be able to do there, and also if they're actually going to sue him. I remember Dogpack on the Cam Nugget stream from last night, he said that he didn't actually think that they were going to sue him. So I guess we'll see what happens there. If I would guess, they're probably not going to sue him. They're probably going to respond publicly in some way, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
sent 2 cease and desist letters to the ex-worker. The letters allege that his statements are defamatory and violate his confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement. Now,
so it could be true, but only applicable in Canada. Legally not being clear there. He was very clear. What do you mean?
Generally, I hate these kind of strong-arm tactics to silence critics. This is exactly what Logan Paul is currently doing with CoffeeZilla. But the situation might be theoretically different from a legal perspective. This isn't just some critical third party, but a person who was an employee. They had a direct contractual relationship with MrBeast. So the contract terms will be just as important as the general law on defamation. Now, as you probably know, a non-disclosure agreement, or NDA, is a legal contract between at least 2 parties that outlines confidential material, knowledge, or information that the parties wish to share with each other for certain purposes, but want to restrict from wider access. The NDA essentially creates a confidential relationship between the parties to protect information.
Right, and this is why I was saying in my earlier coverage, people were saying like, well, you know, these people breached their NDA. Lava can't talk about the shit because he breached the NDA, which is crazy. The Lava shit was like 1 week ago, considering how much the story's evolved. But technically, I think if you're reporting a crime, you're not breaching your NDA. I don't think that's really legally enforceable. If you're reporting a crime that happened and you're trying to get justice for it or whistleblow it, I don't think that's
covered.
I don't think you can be prosecuted for that. What is whistleblowing law? Whistleblowing law, NDA, Department of Labor. So here they're saying you're protected from retaliation for reporting to these agencies. But are you protected from retaliation if you are publishing it publicly online? Publish. Doesn't look like there's info about that here. Protected by law, USA. Protects federal employees or applicants. Well, that's federal employees. They're not a federal employee, but can they publish it? Can they publish it? Whistleblower. laws publishing information. Is there a good video about this? Whistleblower law, I think, atones to, or I think it even refers to, if a crime is being committed under an NDA or threatened by the company or higher authority figure. Could be wrong. Whistleblower law explained.
Hello, in today's video, I am going to explain what a
Bro looks like the hedgehog from Over the Hedge.
whistleblower is, and we are starting right now.
Epic intro.
Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Brandon Ortiz. I am an employment lawyer in Santa Monica, California.
I am a Turkish patriot, so true.
Before we begin, let me just remind you that this video is for informational purposes only. This video is not legal advice. If you have specific questions about your needs and your situation, you should contact an employment lawyer.
Okay, thanks.
Today, I am talking about whistleblowing for purposes of a whistleblower retaliation or wrongful termination case. Whistleblowing can mean a lot of different things depending on the law that you're talking about. You may have heard of whistleblowing in another context. There are certain types of lawsuits you can file against companies that are defrauding the government. Those are called qui tam laws or False Claims Act laws. California has them. The federal government has some. We're not talking about those today. Today, we're talking specifically about the employment context and whistleblower retaliation against an employer, against the employee. And we are primarily going to be looking at California Labor Code Section 1102.5. That's the most powerful whistleblower statute in California.
California.
I'm not going to be talking to you about other, there's federal whistleblower statutes. There's even other California whistleblower statutes.
Federal whistleblower statutes. Federal whistleblower law. Can I get an answer on if this is legally enforceable? My feeling would be that he is legally protected if he's reporting crimes or misconduct, but I don't know. Federal employees, National Whistleblower Center, False Claims, Dodd-Frank, Lacey Act, Law Library. Let's see here. False Claims Act. The False Claims Act is America's first whistleblower law and one of the strongest whistleblower laws in the United States. It was originally signed into law in 1863. The Civil War. Whistleblowers can be rewarded for confidentially disclosing fraud. There was also financial loss to the federal government. Okay, to the federal government. So maybe if they're not being taxed, is that a financial loss? But is this specifically in regards to federal employees? I want to talk to a lawyer. I need to talk to a lawyer about this so I can get the full context. If you're a lawyer in chat, you can prove to me you're a lawyer and want to talk to me about this. Let me know if you've done the research. But I would also if I don't get someone from the chat, I'll probably make a post or something.
Or by the NDA. And usually that's any type of confidential.
NDAs can't stop you from reporting crimes. That is my understanding, but my question is, can NDAs stop you from reporting stuff that's not necessarily a crime but could have civil action taken, right? Because I don't think that what happened to, what's his name? Jake Weddle would be a federal crime or a crime in any way, but he could take civil action. Does that protect him? I don't know.
Or proprietary information or trade secrets. In this video, YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamer explained the purpose of an NDA.
I hired you at our company, right? And I told you a secret about, something we're doing a month from now, a production that we have coming out in the next 2-3 months. If we hired you to be the editor for that video,
dono, John.
And we had told you, hey, don't leak any of this at all. Not a single ounce of footage. We want this.
Oh, wait, LegalEagle is getting into it right now. I spoke too soon. Base!
For you to edit, we want you to put these videos together, and we want you to, basically have these ready to go up on our actual collaborative channel. If you decided to leak that footage, it would be well within our right to take you to court.
Now, Mudahar is right that a company could sue a person who violated an NDA by disclosing things about that production if those things are within the scope of the NDA. And he's generally right that an NDA cannot compel a person not to disclose a crime. If an NDA attempts to prevent someone from reporting illegal activities, the NDA might...
But reporting to the public or reporting to a law enforcement agency?
...be considered void if it violates public policy. However, what constitutes a violation of public policy varies substantially according to the jurisdiction. Some states have adopted laws that strike non-disclosure provisions, which prohibit employees from disclosing unlawful employment practices such as discrimination, harassment, or fraud. North Carolina, where MrBeast is based, has not adopted such a law. The issue really becomes whether Dogpack witnessed anything that would be against public policy in the state that governs the NDA. So while it's true that NDAs generally cannot be used to conceal illegal activities, the person really has to have evidence of at least an illegal activity that would be considered against public policy to have an NDA against. And it doesn't seem like Dogpack has made any statements of witnessing anything firsthand that MrBeast did anything that was against the law. And now MrBeast's lawyers have sent 2 cease and desist letters to Dogpack. He appeared on Oompaville's show and declared that he isn't scared.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel nervous? I would be shitting.
Could he be
myself if I were you.
No, I'm not shitting myself.
Now, generally, I would agree. A cease and desist letter doesn't mean anything except the sender wants you to stop. But if he did disclose information that was covered by the NDA, then he could be in trouble. Now, it would be a breach of contract claim. So it's not against the law to violate your NDA, but it does mean you can be sued civilly for breach of contract.
Right.
And there's no doubt that he's causing MrBeast reputational harm. Whether that's warranted is up to you. But the NDA could also contain a non-disparagement clause. A non-disparagement clause prevents a signatory from disparaging the other party for a certain amount of time, even if the things that they say are true or non-confidential. This clause is meant to stop the parties from making public or private comments.
Wait, that girl is still talking about this stuff? 3 years away from that weirdo. My skin is clear. My relationship and friendships are flourishing. I'm frolicking in a field. She's so vague. She said nothing. From the looks of it, I don't need to. Not putting myself through that shit again, but thank. Okay, well then why even make a post? Why even make a post? In the middle of these allegations, why even make an unclear, vague post that says nothing and ultimately harms the actual victims involved with your vaguity? You, Maddie. Jesus Christ. Legally, you didn't like your ex-boyfriend. Great. Thank you for sharing that. I don't care. LegalEagle looks like a modernized Abe Lincoln. True. Very true. You're right.
That could harm the reputation or business interests of the other party, especially in a situation like this where the person can truthfully say that they were an employee for a limited amount of time to add authority to their claims. Now, disparagement is not the same as defamation. Defamation generally only applies when these statements are false. Disparagement just means saying something negative about the other person, even if it's 100% correct. So if Dogpack's NDA has a non-disparagement clause that's still in effect, he could be in a lot of trouble because he's been doing a lot of
the question is MrBeast going to pursue that? Does he think the benefit he might get from suing that guy and trying to get him to shut up would be greater than the public backlash he would get for suing someone who is seen as a whistleblower publicly? Did you watch your looks maxing video by Science of Aesthetics? I'll look at that later. I did not.
Even if you assume that everything he says is 100% true. Now, Dogpack redacted the name of the law firm in the cease and desist letter, only quoting a portion of the firm's website, and some have suggested that the cease and desist letters were from the law firm Quinn Emanuel. And the name of the firm, Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart & Sullivan, fits the amount of space in the cease and desist letter that Dogpack shared on Twitter. Now, if so, these are not lawyers you want to mess with. I personally never met a lawyer from Quinn who wasn't a huge asshole, often in a way that's counterproductive to their client, but still, they have a reputation for scorched earth litigation. But on the other hand, with respect to the NDA, it seems like most of what Dogpack has disclosed was already in the public and is based on accounts from other people, not what he witnessed firsthand. He certainly used his status as an ex-employee to make it seem like he has inside knowledge.
To be fair to the girl, she's taking advantage of the right time. Yeah, and that's shitty and unprincipled and cringe, and I don't like it. I don't care.
But from what I've seen, he seems to be largely relaying what other people are talking about rather than using his own firsthand knowledge. But without knowing the terms of the NDA, it's hard to say how much trouble Dogpack might be in. On the other hand, it might not be a good look to sue a critic
it's not
out of existence.
It's a horrible look. And it will bring more attention to the situation and prolong it.
Or fellow YouTuber. Plus, it just creates more of a Streisand effect, too. But love him or hate him, if you're tired of seeing all the MrBeast clones on YouTube, you can see the best videos from the highest quality creators on today's sponsor, Nebula.
All right. Well, pretty good video by LegalEagle. I did enjoy that. Wait, this just came out. Looks maxing Science of Aesthetics. How attractive is Turkey? It's over for me. I'm gonna get like a 1.
How attractive is YouTuber Turkey Tom? Tom has thick, dark, medium, low-set eyebrows. He has a compact eye shape, good chin to philtrum ratio.
Whoa, good chin to philtrum ratio.
And fairly balanced facial fur.
Balance.
His nose is ideally upturned, and he has a strong brow ridge.
Ooh.
However, his gonial angle is a bit
my gonial angle
high. His ramus is short, and his nose has a slight dorsal hump. He has negative canthal
I do have negative canthal tilt, that's true.
A low FWHR and low set cheekbones. His total face shape is long, mid-face ratio is high, and eyes are a bit close set. If he fixed his hair, facial hair, and overall style, he would look a lot better and wouldn't have to go on dates with dog girls.
Oh, f*** off! What the hell? What? Hey! 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 Look, the shaving your face, better haircut, that's true. Come on, leave Madeline out of this, okay? Jesus Christ.
We all know that wasn't just for content, bro. Turkey Tom has 43% facial harmony and is a 4.5 out of 10. If you want a face rate...
Wow. 4.5, he looks pretty average. He's close to average. His hair and facial hair are just really bad. He'd be a 5 if you clean that up because his features and dimorphism aren't bad. Hey, asshole. Hey, I just got violated. Oh my God, bro. Wasn't just for content. We all know that. We all know that. All right, buddy. All right, science of aesthetics. All right, bruh. Don't worry, Tom. If you work real hard, you can be a 5 out of 10. Yeah, thank you, science of aesthetics. Dickhead. I mean, he's right, but still. Bad Ramus and gonal angle. True. Oh, this guy's got me in his title, I guess, on the Liver MMA. I did like his video. I'll shoot him a dono real quick because I'm a nice guy. I'm just that kind of guy. Okay, I'm going to shoot him a dono. I'm that kind of guy. Let's see his reaction. Live reaction to getting a dono.
No, go a little bit. But the
from the Turkey Tom.
Funny. What's up, Dagon? How we doing? Oh shit! Yo, thank you for the $20, Tom Dark. Dude, I didn't know you were creeping around the live stream, man. What's up? Hey, man, look, I appreciate the constructive criticism. Just know, if you ever watch these videos again, just know that you're probably not going to be too interested because it's not going to be completely drama related. I appreciate the $20, man. That's fucking crazy. Yo, look, but the cosign's there, man. I appreciate it. I think, honestly, and that $20 will do numbers for me, man. I'm streaming right now, actually, Lo. Good video, take it easy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out Fake Leafy.